It is Danny, the Multiple Streams Queen. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Right? We're going to talk about all things Airbnb or short-term rental, starting a business. I am actually a retired ER nurse as well. Was in healthcare for about 15 years. But anywho, today I wanted to talk to you guys about this viral video that's been going around. And so many people, that's a lot of people's fear, that they would get people in their units and they wouldn't leave. It's like, what do you do when they get there and they don't want to leave? So I want to talk about it. What do you do? So first and foremost, when starting your business, right? When you get the idea that, oh, I want to start an Airbnb business, you need to try to learn as much as you can. And I won't say as quickly as you can, but know enough information for you to get started, because I don't want you to get stuck on that education piece. I don't want you to get stuck on the education part, right? And you never take action because, oh, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to figure this out and figure that out. A lot of times you won't learn a lot of stuff until you actually get started. But there are some, some foundational pieces that are just going to be the same. Number one, wherever you are, wherever you're trying to operate, you need to figure out the regulations surrounding short-term rental, where you are wanting to start or wanting to invest, right? Figure out what that looks like in your state, and then figure out what it looks like in your municipality or your particular county where you're trying to start your Airbnb business, right? That's number one. Number two, you need to know the residency or the tenancy laws in your state. What does that look like? At what point does someone become a tenant that you actually have to evict? Where I am is 28 days and a piece of mail. And so a lot of, we get clients and I get people that ask, oh, my guest is asking for a key. Should I give them the mailbox key, right? There are people, whether you want to believe it or not, that are professional squatters. They know all the things that you don't know because you haven't taken the time to educate yourself. You haven't taken the time to research and to get that education, right? Or get that knowledge. So they're going to take advantage of it. So you need to figure out in your state, at what point does someone become a tenant that you have to evict, and you have to actually go through the legal process to evict. I know some places, if they stay 14 days and they bring a bag, they are considered a tenant that you have to evict. Figure out what that is in your state, so you know, right? So and not to say that you can't do long-term guests, that is totally up to you. If you're afraid to do it because you're afraid of that is your choice. You'll just do short-term rentals, that's fine. But educate yourself. If you know and you have the knowledge and you know what you're doing, you don't have to avoid long-term guests, right? And one of the cities that we invest in, our niche is healthcare professionals, right? We are in very close proximity to a lot of hospitals. And so we get a lot of traveling nurses. But guess what? They want to stay for 3 and sometimes 6 months. They're staying with us for 6 months, guys, right? So we have them sign contracts. We get all the necessary information that we need. For me, being a travel nurse, it's a lot of the lingo and stuff that I already know. But we get all the necessary information that we need. What hospital are you working with? What agency are you working with? What's your recruiter's name, right? What is your contract length? How long are you needing housing, or how long are you going to be on this contract, right? And we let our nurses know, like, this is, you staying with us is contingent upon you working this contract. So once it's canceled, you're going to leave and you're going to vacate without an issue, right? We do month to month. We're not holding people in for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6. We're not doing all of that, right? Because me being a travel nurse, I understand that stuff can happen and your contract can just get canceled. Sometimes with cause and sometimes without cause, right? So you need to know what you need to put in place in order to protect you and yourself. But we're kind of past all that, right? Because she got somebody in her house that is refusing to leave. Honestly, when I was looking at the video, I'm like, it kind of looked fake, but I don't know. It is very possible. It can absolutely happen. Not saying that it's not true, but it looked kind of like it was staged to me. But it might be real. But we're kind of past that part. She has someone in her house that doesn't want to leave. What do you do? Because it sounds like she's already called the police, and the police told her that she is a tenant, that she now at this point has to evict. And you don't want to do an illegal eviction and get yourself in any trouble. Aww. Right? So she would actually have to serve her eviction papers. Right? She has to give her a notice. But again, check in your state and figure out what that eviction process looks like. What you don't want to do is just lock her out and put her out, because then at that point it's a legal eviction, and then you go down a whole nother rabbit hole. So what I would do, if it was a house that I owned, that I had a mortgage on, I would make her stay a freaking living hell. Period. If it's my house that I stay in, if she's in a bedroom where I purchased that furniture, I will be removing all of that furniture. I would be removing that door from that room. Your stay will be a living hell. I would pay someone. I go to a friend's house and I would pay someone just to come and annoy you at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, banging on pots and pans. You will not be comfortable in that house. I would take out all of that furniture from that house. You will not be sitting at my table smoking a cigarette in my house. You will not be telling me I can't come in your room in my house. I will remove that door. I will remove all that furniture. I know in apartments that legally you can't just turn off the utilities, right? They can get disconnected for non-payment, but I know in apartment complexes you can't just turn the utilities off because you're trying to kick somebody out. But I would move somebody else in with them. So either A, I would take out all that furniture in that house. I would remove the doors. Like, you're not going to be comfortable staying here. You're going to want to leave. Just period. You're going to want to leave. Or move in with them, or have somebody move in with them. It's going to cost you some money probably, right? Like I said, I wouldn't mind paying someone to come and be annoying. You're going to be very uncomfortable. You think you're going to make me uncomfortable in my own house, you got another thing coming. I'm not going to beg and plead with you to get out. I'm going to make you want to leave. And while we're going through all of that process, I would serve you legally the eviction notice for you to get out, and we can go to court and we can do things the legal route. But in the meantime, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to be telling me, oh, stay out of my room. You're not going to be in my kitchen eating my food. You're not even going to have access to my refrigerator. I would put a lock on my refrigerator. You would be very uncomfortable. That's just what I would do. Right? And you can still go through the legal process. You don't have to call the police, because as you can see in the video, she's already called the police, and the police let her know she's a tenant now. You have to put her out. We can't just make her leave. Right? And guys, just so you know, in cases like this, Airbnb, there's nothing that they can do. If you have a guest that comes and you don't have any contracts and you didn't have them sign anything, and they just decided, after me being here for 30 days, I'm not leaving, Airbnb won't do anything. Just so you know. They're not going to send out a rep and put them out for you. They would probably try to call the guests or email the guests, but Airbnb can't physically remove them from your house. That is what I would do if I were in that situation. If someone decided, oh, after my stay, I'm not going to leave. Okay. All right. I wouldn't even argue with you. I'll just hire a moving company and start removing my stuff out of the house. And it's a headache, right? But it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. What is more of a headache? Having someone live with you or in your house, holding your house hostage, that doesn't want to pay any rent or any bills. Like, no. No, ma'am. So that is what I would do, y'all.